I just want to say I'm part of the LGBTQ community, and this is my best friend, Valentina. She's an ally. Talk, Valentina.
Ally.
I'm sorry, I don't care how good you can lip sync to this audio. I doubt you can be better than this video, because pets with like queer flags are undeniably just the best combo. I'm sorry, we love our queer people and we love our allies, but this is just really adorable. This is just adorable. I don't know how you would beat it, but I dare you to try. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today, since it is still Pride Month, not that we really need an excuse, but I still like saying it to piss people off, you know, but since it's Pride Month, we're doing QueerTok today, because why the hell not? But anyways, you know the deal. Before we continue, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, some tea, or some iced coffee, and then we'll continue. Do you have your drink? Okay, let's go.
We all know that it's an ongoing thing that lesbian couples are always asked if we're sisters, no matter how little we look alike, and that does happen to me and my wife. But I take that and I raise you. One time when my wife and I were moving apartments and we hired movers, while she was in the other room, one of the mover guys stopped me and asked me if she was single. I'm like, I'm sorry, do you think that the two of us are roommates who share a bed? We share a queen size bed. What's going on in your head? And I was so like baffled in that moment. I was so taken aback that I just said no. I just said, no, she's not single. I didn't even tell him. I didn't even say, hey, did you notice that we're both wearing wedding rings? No, I was just like, I'm flabbergasted. So I no longer expect that anybody is going to look at the two of us and like put the pieces together and assume that we're married. It's not happening. We did also though recently have the sister thing where we were at a YMCA class and there were like a bunch of old people and the guy checked our names on the list and saw we had the same last name. So he was like, oh, are you guys sisters? In front of all of these random old people. And we just said, no. Well, I leave people asking more questions than I'm ever going to give them answers.
I really don't get it. How people can forget that gay people exist. Like, it's not even forgetting it until you meet a queer person. I'm just like, oh right, that's the thing. Because that sometimes happens to me. Where, well, with straight people, not with gay people really. But where they just like talk about like hating men but still being attracted to them. I'm just like, why would you? Oh, right. Like, you know, when you confronted it, wouldn't you remember it? Like, no one can not know that queer people even exist in the first place, right? But they're so oblivious. How? Especially like, I know like some siblings don't look that much alike, so I kind of get it. But also, how can you be that oblivious? But especially if you're moving or like helping the move and you see one bed in a shared apartment and you still want to like ignore the fact that these people are probably together. Okay, sure.
Since it's Pride Month, let me share my favorite gay fact with you guys. So, till 2018, it was actually a crime in India to be gay. It was Section 377 that criminalized homosexual activities as like unnatural way of having sex. Basically just a crime to be gay. This law was in place since the colonial period. So like it was hundreds of years old. Arundhati Kadju and Menika Guruswamy, these two female lawyers helped overturn the law, and as soon as the law was overturned, they both came out as a lesbian couple. That is the best thing that has literally ever happened. Like, oh, your situationship can't even text you back. My girls right here literally overturned a centuries-old law just to be together. Lesbians will get everything done.
This is what I call dedication. Like, even if they weren't dating, they would have helped fought for this, right? But I'm so sorry, you can do romantic things for your partner, but I don't think you can beat helping overturn your country's law just to be able to get married. But to be fair, that is a very high bar, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't strive for that or better. I'm just saying the bar is very high. If you don't reach it, you can still do other romantic things for your partner, but still, I don't think these two women will ever doubt their love for each other, because they're like, well, no, we literally fought the law for years to overturn it to be able to get married. Like, why would we ever doubt we love each other? You know, that's, I don't know if it's couple goals, because it's a lot, but it's incredibly adorable, and I'm so proud of them. You know, if it was a straight person, I would question how they got up there, but with queer audacity, anything's possible, and I'm very here for it. And also the vibes. Generally, the vibes at Pride, usually quite good. But this is kind of next level.
Yeah, guess what month it is? Oh my days! Happy Pride, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. And in the spirit of Pride Month and also reaching 40,000 followers on TikTok, I'm going to give you guys 20 queer book recommendations. Let's get into it. For the first book, we have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. The best way I can summarize this book is that every single tear a creator has shed reading this book is absolutely valid. This book is about two boys who get the same phone call telling them they're going to die today. And the entirety of this book is set in one singular day. It's very sad, but it gave me a lot to think about. Gentlest of Wildlings by Sarah Underwood is a sapphic Greek mythology retelling. It is a dual POV following our two main characters, Irene and Lamaya, and together they face a power-hungry god who is selling desire in bottles, and Irene has to save her sister Phoebe from him, so she volunteers in her place, and through that she meets Lamaya, who is Leandros' daughter. I am almost halfway through this book, so I'm experiencing it for the first time along with you guys. Go read it. If you're going to check the trigger warnings for any book on this list, please let it be this one, because These Violent Delights by Micah Nemereva is a roller coaster of a ride. This book follows our two boys, Paul and Julian, in 1970s Pittsburgh. It's kind of a queer dark academia, and also I like to describe it as the epitome of be gay, do crime, because that's exactly what happens in this book. The moment they lock eyes for the first time, they are obsessed with each other, and a lot of stuff ensues. Spellbound by F.T. Lukens, and F.T. Lukens just in general, In Deeper Waters is my personal favorite, is a really great urban paranormal kind of fantasy. Is it paranormal? I actually can't remember. It's a dual POV following Rook and our non-binary character, Sun. Rook doesn't have magic, Sun does. Rook wants magic, but he can't get magic. So he creates an illegal magic device, but he has to keep it hidden at all costs or else he will get arrested. It's an adorable Grumpy Sunshine romance between these two, and a really cool magic system. I highly suggest picking this up. Oh yeah, The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. If you don't know, I freaking love this duology. It's absolutely amazing. This book is a Mexican mythology inspired queer fantasy. We follow our main character Teo into these trials that happen once every 10 years, and the winner has to sacrifice the loser in order to keep the sun alive. It's such a fun duology. I think this is the epitome of queer YA fantasy. Please go pick it up. Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar is a book I was not expecting to be as good as it was. But honestly, I should have, because look at the gorgeous cover, look at the gorgeous spine. I keep saying spine! We follow our trans main character Felix Love, who's never been in love. He goes to a prestigious arts college and he wants to move forward. But he's going through kind of an art block right now, and when someone posts pictures of him before he transitioned up on the school hallway gallery for everyone to see, chaos kind of ensues. It's a really great, really fun, kind of messy contemporary, and I really suggest you pick it up. The Boy from the Mish by Gary Lonesbury is a contemporary romance following the romance of two Aboriginal boys. We follow our main character Jackson as this book kind of explores themes of queer identity and struggling to find yourself and accept yourself. I believe this book has a different title in America. I'm not too sure what it was, I always forget, but if that sounds interesting, please be sure to check it out. All That's Left in the World by Eric J. Brown, and the sequel, which I've yet to get to, is a cute as heck dystopian Achillean romance. It's set in kind of a post-apocalyptic world where a massive, bigger, scarier version of COVID kind of kills 2 billion people, so that's fun. It's a dual POV. Again, we follow Jamie and Andrew as they discover their new world and how to live in it together. I've heard that the second book's gonna make me cry, so looking forward to that. So Let Them Bird by Camilla Cole is the first book in a completed Jamaican-inspired fantasy duology. It's again a dual POV following two sisters Farron and Alara, and it's set in between the aftermath of a brutal war and the threat of a new one. There is a sapphic side relationship between Alara and another character. There's dragons, there's mystery, there's schools, there's magic. It has everything. Go read it. Just very quickly before we move on, a Palestinian family really needs your help at this time, and even if you can't donate, you can absolutely still help. This is Ahmed. He is 21 years old. He is only 21 years old, and every day he struggles to provide for his family of 8. Again, if you can't donate, you can help by going to his social media profile and following him and boosting his videos is doing whatever you can to get them out in front of people who can donate. Also, if you can donate, even as little as $5 helps them immensely. This is the link to the donation page. Please go and check it out if you can. Thank you so much for your support. Next, we have our first graphic novel, If You'll Have Me by Uni. This is the freaking cutest sapphic romance I've actually ever read and probably ever will read. Everything about this book is just incredible. Even if it's a graphic novel and even if I read it in only an hour, it's still so amazing, from everything to the writing style, to the characters, to the story. The main character, oh my god, I want to give her a hug so bad. The story explores a lot of themes of boosting your self-confidence and self-esteem and breaking down stereotypes within the sapphic community. It's a really great story. I highly recommend checking out the author on TikTok as well. Their art is... oh my god, it's so good. Moving on to queer horror. Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews follows yet another gay main character named Andrew. It's kind of a toxic, obsessive friends to lovers set in a botanical body horror dark academia setting. There's a lot of mystery. There's really good anxiety representation, I felt, as someone who struggles with anxiety. Also bisexual representation and asexual representation, so make sure to go check it out. Moving on to more queer body horror, Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. It's a post-apocalyptic queer dystopian but also religious horror. We follow our main character Benji, who is a trans boy and also on the run from a religious cult who's trying to turn him into an angel. Guys, I wonder whose current work in progress could possibly be really inspired off of this book. I wonder, he could be anywhere. He escapes and finds a ragtag group of teens at an LGBTQ center where he meets Nick, my boy! This book also has really good autistic representation as someone who is autistic, if you couldn't already tell. So now he and his newfound group of friends have to work together to stop the second wave of Armageddon. Again, please check the trigger warnings. I'm gonna have to speed up. When Haru Was Here by Dustin Tao is a very sad contemporary romance following our main character Eric, who is struggling with the loss of his best friend Daniel. So in recovery of that, he has imaginary scenarios about this other boy, Haru. Another warning, you might cry at the end of the book. I really wanted to go on a long tangent about the Star of the Sea, but I don't think I have the time, so just read this if you like my content, okay? This book is literally my favorite book of all time. I love it. I love this book so much. It's the best thing I've ever read, so if you trust my recommendations, you'll trust that book. An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson is a sapphic Camilla retelling, so it's basically gay vampire in a dark academia setting in the 1960s, following our two girls, Laura and Camilla. Again, if you trust my recommendations, you will read Dark Rise by C.S. Pacat. This series is so good, and I am so impatient for the third book, which may or may not be out this year. Please! We follow our main character, Will Kempen, who is literally my Pookie Wookie Snooki Bear, who doesn't deserve everything that's happened to him. The story is set in 1820s London, where people are kind of moving on from magic that was in the old world. Will Kempen is on the run from people who killed his mother, and he eventually finds the stewards, who are the last remaining protectors of the old world. It's a very cool dark fantasy, and you should all read it. It's very good. And finally, we have Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. This is another queer dragon fantasy following the last ever male dragon and a non-binary thief, and it's a really good enemies to lovers, and there's so much interesting lore and history and world building. I really highly suggest this one. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Pride. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I already have entirely too many books on wish lists and like saved as screenshots on my phone. I'm gonna have to keep this video or add them to another list, because why did all of these sound good? I mean, I actually read, the only book I read from this list is Felix Ever After. And at first I was conflicted because I was like, oh, it's about finding love and I'm aromantic. And I was like, well, I don't know if I'll enjoy it, but I want to read it. So I did. Really good book. It kind of dragged on a little in there, but honestly, in the end, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, if you want book recommendations, apparently check out their channel, because I think they recommend a lot more books. And then it said that apparently they realized after like 10 years. I don't know if they were dating for 10 years and then realized they're gay, or if they were actually married. But still, things happen, you know? And just because you can't be together in that way doesn't mean you're not perfect for each other. Like, you can be perfect for each other as friends. You know, like, you can be compatible with your partner, but you also need to be very compatible with your friends. So, I guess, I mean, it took you a while to figure out, but, you know, at least you're still, like, taking care of your relationship with each other, even if it looks different than it used to in the beginning.
Are you sexually active? Yes, I am. Any chance that you could be pregnant? No. What is the selected method of contraception? Lesbianism?
please tell me you were out to your mom before this doctor's appointment, because I mean, it might be good because it gives her a few minutes to process before full-on freaking out, because most people do not want to like cause a full-on scene in a doctor's office, you know. But I'm kind of still hoping she knew beforehand, and I probably would have just dead-ass lied. My mom would have probably known I lied if I just said, "Oh, no, I'm not sexually active. No," you know. I probably would have just lied. I don't know. She probably wouldn't have believed me, but I don't know if I would have been that honest in that moment. But I think by the time I was 17, my mom just waited in the waiting room, you know, if she had me like to drive me to the doctor or something, which that was probably better.
What do you think of those parents that say like, "I love you no matter what," when their kids come out?
Ugh. I think it's awful.
Why?
Because it's like, I love you even though you're flawed or not quite right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What difference does it make?
What do you mean?
I mean, what difference does it make?
If your kid is queer?
Yeah. Just inflicting pain.
Yeah.
For no good reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of depends. Like, with some people, it's very obvious that they mean it exactly like this of, "Oh, yeah, I love you, you're clearly flawed, but I still love you," and it's very apparent that they mean it like that, even if they don't say it exactly like that. But some people are just like, do I look like I give a shit? Like this mom. She would just like be like, "Thanks for telling me, I guess. You know, now I can point out like cute women to you now that I know you're into women." But not in a weird way. Like, she would just be chill and just be like, "Thanks for telling me. Like, you know I love you. Like, this literally doesn't change anything." So it kind of depends on the vibe with it. But yeah, I feel like the people who are like the first variant of just being like, "Oh, well, you clearly fought, but I still love you, it's fine." I think that is actually more common, sadly. Okay, but shoving the flag in a harness or tying it around you might be a really smart idea, because if it just is like loose around your neck or something, as soon as it's a little bit windy, it's gonna hit people every 2 seconds. So, you know, maybe actually like shove it in a harness or tie it together or paint it on your cheeks, whatever you want really. But yeah, it kind of gets in the way if it's just like flowing. I know it looks pretty cool, but maybe don't, because you will legitimately hit people. And unless it's the homophobe protesters, I don't think you want to. Thanks. For nothing. Literally. I don't get how you can be so weird. Like, no one cares. But then you have like very few people who care so much that all they do is like scream very loudly about it. You know, like a lot of people don't care about like trans people or queer people in the best way possible. They're just like vaguely aware trans people exist, but they don't really care and they don't really know too much about trans people. You know, but they don't care. If they see a trans person in the bathroom, they're not gonna care that much. But then you have like very few really weird loud people. Who are exactly like this some of the time, unfortunately. I guess I gotta work harder, because people are very often, like strangers are very often confused about my gender, but that is peak gender confusion and I'm very here for it. I think I need to work harder, but I'm very here for it. POV, you're frantically trying to remove your clown makeup with river water because you see straight men with fishing poles approaching in the distance. It does not look like it's going well. And I wish you wouldn't have to. I wish you wouldn't have to worry about your safety. You know, like if they were just like make a mean comment, you probably wouldn't even care because like you have to like it, not them, or you have to like try to make a point or make it art or whatever. But I think with straight men with fishing poles, I would be very worried. Like I've met a few people who fish who might not be that unhinged that they would actually like try to be violent, but I've also met people who fish who are violent, so better not take that chances, I guess. Why is it sometimes the very religious people where you kind of like really like are bracing yourself for the worst reaction, or for them to go like totally off the rails or just totally ignore it and just pretend it never happened, who just have the best and most wholesome interactions, like wholesome reactions to people coming out. It's like, do I look like I care? Or yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like my honestly pretty religious grandmother, when my aunt saw her daughter came out as queer, basically, she was like, yeah, no, actually, like seeing you with a woman would actually make a lot more sense than with a man. And I kind of stand by that, really, but that's just like such a chill reaction. I was just like, yeah, that I kind of see that for you, you know, and it's like, it's fine, but this is just too cute, especially coming from a very religious grandma. Literally, how many queer teenagers have managed to get away with like sneaking in their partner just because their parents didn't know, and they didn't actually have to like sneak them in, because they could just be like, oh, can I have a sleepover with Josh later this week, or with Jennifer or whatever. Like literally, in those moments for those teenagers, flying under the radar and people not really thinking about the fact that people are queer is tremendously helpful, actually. But only for those people specifically, really.
My gay best friend is nervous to meet my parents.
Hunter, meet my parents. Parents, meet my friend Hunter.
Please tell me you told him beforehand. Like, it'd be so funny. It'd be so random. Like, if you know someone also kind of has like a very dark sense of humor, I guess, and you like just met them, you could pull this as a prank in a way, just like, oh, I want to introduce you to my parents later, you know, just like on the way to the mall or whatever, just to see them panic a little because they're like, oh wait, you also said something about your parents being kind of strict or whatever, or how you're not out to your parents. And then they're just like internally kind of panicking because they're visibly queer. And then it's just this. Honestly, you would not get me off the floor because I'd be laughing for like a solid 10 minutes probably. Because it just be like, especially if this is the presentation you do, like, Josh, I'd like you to meet my parents. Like, I don't know, just like stopping to tie your shoe. And then she'd be like, oh yeah, these are my parents, by the way. It'd be so random.
Oh my god,
God, queer women do not walk a certain way. Okay, that's so reductive, and frankly, it's kind of homophobic.
Listen, walking like this doesn't mean you're a lesbian. Walking in a way similar to this really just doesn't mean you're a lesbian. But that does mean that a lot of lesbians, especially those like leaning more towards the mask side, don't walk like this. Like sometimes you just look at someone walk and just like, you walk like a lesbian. I can't explain it, but sometimes you just think it. It might not be true. This person might not be a lesbian, but I think a lot of lesbians do walk like this. There isn't a lesbian walk or a queer walk or like a queer specific way to sit even, but a lot of queer people don't sit properly. So, you know, like sitting weirdly or walking like this does not make you queer, but a lot of queer people will probably sit or walk in a strange way. Really, I don't make the rules. Anyways, that was all the TikToks I have for today, because otherwise this video will be forever long. But anyways, if you want to watch more queer TikTok, go ahead. If you want to post cute pride edits, go ahead. If you want to post videos or pictures of your pride parade you went to, go ahead. And just casual reminder at the side once again, if you're not ready to come out or if you don't feel safe to come out, you don't have to. Like, yes, we need visibly queer people to make sure that shit does not get worse and people who fight for us, but if it's not safe for you, if you're not ready, no one is gonna judge you for it. Literally take all the time you need. Just a reminder at the side or end, I guess. But anyways, I hope you're having a great Pride, and I'll see you in a few days with my next video.